reading ttyl, I think, was an interesting example of how much I had grown up until that point, because I think if I had discovered the books when I was 14 or 15, I probably would have been absolutely in love with them, because, I mean, the girls talk pretty honestly-ish, but like in perspective, no.
ttyl is the third review we ever posted, and it holds a memorable place in my heart because I was very ill when we were filming this. I had no voice, and so because we had such a tight schedule with school, the way we got around this is I remember we were lying on Chelsea's bed trying to write this review, and we decided that I would not speak. I would type all of my lines, and I would type all of my lines out in chat speak like this book was written.
At the time, it would have been relevant to who I was as a kid. Going back and reading them, you're just like, what was this author on? Like, it was a crazy ride of just things happening that made no sense. Like, yes, they made a dramatic type of sense, but they didn't make a perfect type of sense.
Looking back, we may have been pretty rough on this, but there was just something about reading this old, like, AOL chat speak that wasn't actually AOL chat speak. Like, it was an amalgamation of what an adult might have thought teenagers spoke about at that time. I still remember taking the points that we wrote that were my points and putting them through a lolcat generator just to like make it chat speaky, and then having to sit there and time the typing sound effect to like the words as they came. And looking back, like, man, I did a pretty good job. It holds up pretty great.
It would have been something that's easier to do now for sure, but way back then it was pretty manual.
Oh god, and then there was the sequel, TTFN, and we were like, how are we gonna talk, like, how are we gonna top that? How are we gonna top me not speaking? And it's like, you know what? I'm gonna do the entire thing as Christian Bale Batman.
You killed your voice.
I killed my voice.
You went from one extreme to the other to back to the first extreme.
God, I was just like guzzling water when we were doing that because it was just awful.
But it was your decision.
It was my decision, and I committed to it.
But I remember we made like annotated notes in those books to help us get through.
Yeah.
And like they're the only books I think we've ever written in. But like we'd then hand the books out to other people so they could make their notes, and you'd read it and it would be like a passage of time. And just like help you get through it because you know somebody else has gone through it too.
It was just that the characters were just so obviously one-dimensional stereotypes, and how they dealt with the issues that were in the book just was not great.
Yeah, like there was a whole thing where the teacher was hitting on this like 15-year-old girl, and she's like, I'll tell no one about this. And you're like, tell someone.
Yeah.
Tell lots of people. Tell everyone.
And just like the level that they were bullying this one girl
Oh
was just
my
like,
God.
it was heartbreaking.
There was nothing this girl did to deserve it. She was a nice person, and they were just bitches.
This book was re-released in the past 5 or so years, where they took it and updated all of the like chat speak and like methods of conversation to modern day. And like, I'm not interested.
No, I've had enough, thank you.
We did our time.
I wonder, like, there's nothing that they did, I'm sure, to fix the underlying, like, issues of the plot.
Just change out, like,
everything,
what's
really.
that guy's name to, like, Chris Evans?
Chad Michael Murray.
Chad Michael Murray, I'm so old!
I think I remember his name because of those books.
Yikes.